Hi, Andrew here. Today I want to teach you how to divide x plus I into x squared plus 1. So always start with your numerator, just simply write that down, x squared plus 1. And then on the outside of your division symbol, now write your denominator, x plus I. The first step is you're going to see how many times this leading term x goes into the leading x term here inside of the division symbol. In other words, you're going to take whatever on the inside of that division symbol and divide it then by what's on the outside, just in terms of the x's. So obviously x squared divided by x is an x. Now this is known as the quotient. That quotient goes on the top. All right. Now what you're going to do is you're going to set up your parentheses, write a minus sign and open and close parentheses. What you then have to do is you have to take this quotient and multiply it by this divisor. In other words, it looks like this, x times x plus I. So you do your distribution, and obviously this works out to be x squared plus then xi. Okay, no big deal. Write that in, x squared plus xi. Now notice I'm being very general. Whatever this is, you're going to multiply it by whatever this is. Okay, so that's the pattern. That's how you can apply it now to other problems. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take this negative symbol and distribute it to each of those terms. Okay, so both, since they're both positive, they're both going to become negative. Boom and boom. And then just do the math. So x squared minus x squared is just nothing. And this now works out to be I'm going to write x as the leading term. I'm going to write negative xi plus 1. Okay? The reason why I'm going to do that is because I want to place x on the leading, to the left. So now since I have still an x left in this remainder, I'm going to do another division where I'm going to take this divisor and divide it into this. That's kind of the new dividend, so to speak. And again, I'm going to figure out how many times does this x divide into that leading term. So it's negative xi over then x. And what are you left with? Well, you're left with negative I. So that's fine. Write that in. So this on the top now is a negative I. Great. Then what you're going to do, just like we did before, you're going to, first set up your parentheses, so minus and then open and close the parenthesis. Then take whatever this is, negative I, and multiply it by whatever this is. So that's going to be an x squared, x plus I. Then do your distribution. Okay, so this is this is going to work out to be negative. Oh my God, it's one of those days, ladies and gentlemen. Then you're going to take the I and multiply it to the x, so it's going to be minus xi. And then it's going to be a minus I squared. Cool? Now, something special you should know about I squared. Remember, I is equal to radical negative 1, and therefore radical negative 1 squared. Well, I shouldn't write equal sign because it's not equal. Then radical negative 1 squared is simply going to be equal to negative 1. So this term here is now going to be a negative 1. And then a negative and a negative is a positive, right? So this thing really becomes minus xi plus 1. Great. This is what you're going to plug in there. So it's negative xi plus 1. Okay, cool. So now distribute this negative to each of the terms. So the first term is going to become positive, and the second term there is going to become negative. Right? So that should be a negative 1. That should be a plus xi. And wait a minute, look at what happens. This goes bye-bye with that, right? And 1 minus 1 is just nothing. So that's actually the value. So when you do the division here, your quotient is simply x minus I. And that's all there is to it. That's it. All right. Hopefully that helps, ladies and gentlemen. And I look forward to helping you with more problems. Take care.